One of you geniuses in the comments recommended that I do a series called Multiple Story Mondays, and it sounds like a great idea, so we're gonna get right into it. And if you've already heard one of the stories, you can just skip to the timestamp in the description. My wife and everyone else thinks I got laid off, but really I quit so I could make a go at being a Twitch streamer full time. My wife doesn't follow or know anything about Twitch or video games at all. She doesn't have any knowledge of or connection to the industry I used to work in. She is a paramedic, so she works different shifts and does not know I stream at times when she is not home. Her salary is enough to cover our bills, although things will be a bit tighter until I start making money on my stream. I'm not going to tell anyone until I'm bringing in enough money that I can do it full time. I have never been happier and I'm not stressed as I am now. It's easy for me to lock myself in my home office and say I'm networking and job hunting when I'm really streaming if my wife and or my 3-year-old is home. If she's not working, or my daughter is not at daycare, it's harder, but I make it work. I feel a bit guilty for lying, but I have wanted to do this for a long time. No one that I know in real life knows. Obviously posting this with a throwaway. Commenter: You are being a really, really bad husband. If I was your wife, I would not care if you started making money doing this because I would be heartbroken that you lied and deceived me. And not over something small, over quitting your job. The entire financial burden is now on her and she doesn't even know. What if she decided to quit or gets fired? You guys would be up shit's creek without a paddle. Not being dramatic, but I would leave you over this. This is insanity. Commenter 2. There it is. The dumbest thing I've read all day. So I don't know if I really can say much about this because I'm technically a content creator myself, but I do kind of have some other stuff going on. But I would say if you're not making enough money to live comfortably off of your Twitch salary alone, then you can't just quit your real job to be a streamer. Most streamers, they would stream part time and then they would work their job until they had enough of a following to actually become a full time Twitch streamer. And that's what you should do. And if you're stressed about it, that's too bad because that's life. It's gonna be stressful if you want to have a whole side thing that's gonna take you multiple hours a day alongside your real job. It's just the price you have to pay. And honestly, I don't know how successful your Twitch stream is, but assuming you don't make any money right now, it's clearly not the biggest success so far, but hey, maybe it'll be an update for like 2 years in the future and he'll be super rich and famous, and that would be cool. Update 3 years later. I know I'll probably get flamed, but I get it. I understand that I am the one who ruined my life and my marriage. My divorce was finalized a year ago. She found out about 6 months after I posted. I understand that I was wrong and that I screwed up. I regret my stupidity so much. She left our flat with our daughter and went to live with her sister and hired a solicitor, and that was it. Don't be stupid like me. We've been divorced for a year and I found out she just started dating again. I'm gutted. I miss her. I miss my daughter because she only lives with me half the time. Whenever I see my wife's sister or other members of her family, they give me the stink eye. I can't believe I was such a lazy fuck while she was out there busting her butt as a paramedic. I understand why everyone hates me and sided with her. I know I'll get judged either way, but I'm posting in case anyone understands what I'm going through and being gutted when your ex starts dating again. Commenter 1. I read your original post, and the funny thing is that everyone told you this was gonna happen, and it did. Commenter 2. Honestly, I was with him for a moment there. I thought he had seen the error of his ways. Then he dropped, in case anyone understands what I'm going through, and realized he is still the victim in his head. Well, I mean, that's not exactly what I said was gonna happen, but it's probably the more realistic expectation. Oh, guys, lesson learned. Don't drop everything to be a streamer if you don't have a plan in place already for how you're gonna actually make your money while your stream isn't making any money. Anyways, let's get into story 2. The gym couple that made me question what for better or worse even means. There's this couple at my gym who treat the treadmill area like their own honeymoon suite. Every morning, while the rest of us are just trying to survive cardio, they're over there cuddling between sets and giggling like it's date night. Now, I wouldn't care, except last week I found out that they both are married, but not to each other. Her husband works out of town and his wife doesn't like gyms. They're basically running a secret love story between dumbbells and protein shakes. At this point, I don't even need a workout playlist, their drama fuels me. Every time they high five after a set, I'm like, what does wedding vow fidelity mean to these people? If marriage had a cheat day, these two took the whole week off. Wait, I go to the gym and who is seriously cuddling between sets, bro? What are they doing? 5 sets of Let's Go to La La Land, bro? Like what? What is going on, bro? I'm just trying to picture what they could possibly be doing at the gym, bro. They're just on like a bench, just like hugging each other or something, or they're like on some random machine that can barely fit one person, and they're both just like squished in there. Like what is going on here? Update 2 days later. Now the guy's actual wife showed up for real. Yes, although she didn't yell or made a scene, she just stood by the door, arms crossed while they were mid cuddle. The silence in that gym could have powered the treadmills. He froze, the other woman grabbed her bag and bolted faster than I've ever seen anyone sprint before. So now finally neither of them comes anymore, and the gym feels weirdly quiet. Missed the free soap opera, but hey, at least I can finally focus on my squats. Commenter. The update we didn't know we needed. Commenter 2. I worked at a huge gym in college, catered to all ages. I remember a handful of people exactly like this. They get caught eventually. It's never worth it. Wait, how do you? I've never seen anyone like this. And you know a handful just from working at the gym? Oh God, bro. This is like some gym horror story. Like, hey guys, how many sets do you have left on the bench? Oh, we're just gonna be cuddling for another hour. Like, guys, I'm trying to get my lift in. All right, let's get into the next story. My 28M wife, 26F, spent the last 2 months opening credit cards and maxing them on online slots, 60 grand. How do I move forward? My wife is 21 weeks pregnant and came to me on Thursday night saying she was gonna have a panic attack, and that is when she told me she maxed her cards on online slots. Looking at her report, it appears September through October was 20 grand, and she had nothing else to spend. So she opened more cards that haven't hit her report and maxed them to the total tune of 60k. When she first told me, she lied and originally claimed 30k, and later claimed clean it was actually 60. She told me she can feel the resentment and can't take it, so she has packed some things and moved in with her grandma. I never yelled at her, but I did tell her I was disgusted and disappointed, and that I can't believe she did this to her 2 dogs and soon to be born son. I told her she needs to go see her doctor and a therapist, and that's about it so far. I don't even understand the chemical imbalance in one's brain to even consider doing something of this nature. I do love and miss her, but I just don't know what to even think. That's crazy. 60k in gambling debt in 2 months is a serious addiction. And yeah, she definitely needs therapy. Unfortunately, there's no updates to this, but it kind of reminds me of how yesterday, or was it yesterday? I don't know, a couple days ago, I was like looking up Bruno Mars's net worth because like he's like always on the top of Spotify, and it's only like 175 mil because he's in so much gambling debt. And it's just crazy to see how badly stuff like that can mess up people's lives. Anyways, let's get into our last story, which is actually a bit longer. A friend's 27M girlfriend, 23F, hates me, 22F, after discovering our shared nickname for her. That out of context is totally awful. My friend, Nate, and I met about a year and a half ago when I was finishing my degree. He was an assistant lecturer slash PhD student in my department and taught a guest lecture very closely related to what I was doing my dissertation in. I thought he was gorgeous, but the university had a pretty strict rule about dating students after something messy happened, and they decided the power dynamics are just not worth it. Whatever. I stayed to chat with him about my paper and he agreed to help. This turned into a series of hangouts slash dissertation help. We went off topic at times, and by the time I was done with uni, Nate was still talking to me as we'd become friends. I won't say that nothing ever happened, because we did drunkenly kiss once, after Nate was no longer in danger of breaching any rules. It wasn't a bad kiss, but there was no spark. Whatever initial attraction there was disappeared and it was all platonic. We agreed to forget about it, and it was never an issue again until yesterday. In the time he was helping me, we developed a few weird inside jokes. One of these was that he was dating a vampire. His parents are very pushy and manipulative and pretty much decided for him that he should get married in the next few years since his younger brother has. He wasn't dating anyone and certainly wasn't about to marry the next girl he took out just to make mom happy, so I jokingly told him he should say he's dating a vampire. Stupid joke, but we gave her a name, a ridiculous name, say Veronica McVampire, for the sake of the post. A personality, even booked tickets to a gig as Nate and Veronica McVampire. Informal $5 entry thing, no one would question the silly name as King as the credit card matched his name. Anyways, in all the time we spent together, we used this joke a lot. It became a weird running thing that any girl he went out with was someone he was cheating on Veronica. This includes his current girlfriend, Kate. What was different about Kate is that she actually fit a few of the personality traits that we'd assigned to Veronica. It was nothing bad. She had a messed up sleep schedule due to night shifts and rarely left her flat during the day. Before they were seriously dating, we'd ended up deciding that in our weird inside joke world, Kate is Veronica. It's all some vampire test to make sure he loves only her. It's a stupid joke. It doesn't make a ton of sense without a long explanation about something we made up before we met her. And I don't know why we didn't just use her real name. But as time went on, we referred to her almost exclusively as Veronica. This was only in text to one another if I met up with just him. Kate and I actually got along, and while I wouldn't say we were best friends, I had nothing against her, and it was clear how happy she makes Nate. We never said anything bad about Kate or Veronica. It would just be something like, hey, are we still on for dinner with V tonight? Or, V isn't feeling well, so you'll have to go to the party without us. It was obvious from the messages that he meant her, but because we didn't expect anyone else to see the text, it didn't matter. Yesterday, Nate sent me a text at 11 p.m. that just says, can I come over? It's important. I assumed it was about something entirely unrelated, and I had just finished work, so I was closer to his flat than mine. I offered to go to his instead, but he rang me. Nate, it's really not a good idea for you to come over. It's about Kate. Me. Oh shit, is everything okay with Veronica? Kate, who I didn't know was in the room with him or on speakerphone, starts shrieking and crying. Why the fuck do you call me that? What's wrong with you? I should note that while I've used Veronica here, the name we'd assigned his fake girlfriend was a bit weirder and not a name you'd hear from a woman in her 20s in the United Kingdom. Nate quickly tries to comfort her, but she leaves the room and he explains. An earlier message from me had made her suspicious that something was going on. I'd mentioned his plans with Veronica, and she'd seen the notification come through. She thought it was weird that he had plans with someone when they decided just moments ago to cancel their plans for the night. Rather than tell her that it was a nickname, he went with, it's an inside joke with OP. She took that to mean that I'm Veronica and accused him of cheating. He's told her about us having kissed before and that there was no chemistry. It was brought up pretty early on because we spent a lot of time together and she accused him of having something with me then. I'd also talked to her about it and thought the whole thing was sorted then, but she demanded to see the rest of the messages. Of course, it became pretty clear pretty quickly that it was about her, and he told her the truth, but she didn't accept it. Why would we call her names and make up shit about her, not getting that we created the stupid character before even meeting her? Why would we talk about her at all? She left pretty soon after she screamed at me and Nate, asking me to go over. Given the circumstances, I told him going to his was a terrible idea, but we should go have a drink and talk so he wasn't alone. He ended up staying on my couch last night anyways, but Kate won't return his calls and texts. She's out of town until Sunday night now anyways, with pre-existing plans with her dad, but I don't think she'll have any plans to get in touch with him when she's back. I really don't know what to do. He asked me to speak to her, but I don't think getting myself more involved right now is a good idea. It all seems like something that would be an argument amongst middle schoolers, not three people in their mid to late 20s. But I know that we were the ones that were initially immature. Please help. Please help? Help who? Help you? Who is helping? We are not helping, okay? You need to figure this shit out on your own. 'Cause this is insane, okay? This is not a we problem. This is a you decided to make a crazy inside joke with your best friend who happens to be of a different gender about how he's dating some random vampire girl, and now the his actual girlfriend, who you've been referring to as this other girl, found out. And now you're both screwed. There is no helping you. It's just over, probably. Update the next day. My update got locked and deleted, so I'm going to paste it here on top of the post. Hopefully, any new people will at least see the rest of it. My earlier post about calling my friend's girlfriend a jealous vampire got a lot of attention. Most of you hate me, and that's fine. I come off nasty and petty when the only thing you know about me is that I did something nasty and petty. I could write you a novel about how I saved a kitten once or whatever, but it wouldn't change anything relevant to this. That said, there have been some weird developments. There was a lot more to this whole ridiculous argument, and if only for your amusement, here's the rest. I don't really need advice. Going forward, Nate will be blocked. Contacting me or Emily will result in a formal report to the university on both our parts. A lot of you asked why he slept over / mentioned that was stupid. Why had we gone drinking at all? That's true. It was. We shouldn't have. It was late at night when this all went down and the only that was open were pubs. I honestly thought a chat in a public place would look better than him running to my place for comfort. He then missed the last bus home and stayed because taxis are expensive. The apology was badly worded. I was upset and tired and trying. I know it wasn't a real apology, and I have since spoken to her and actually said the words, I'm sorry. When I said I would win in the comments, I didn't mean that I thought getting rid of Kate was winning. Basically, when I met up with Nate, he started to go on about how this was Kate's fault. I shut him down and told him it wasn't, and he proceeded to tell me that if it came down to it, he'd always take my side. Knowing what I know now, I get why he said that, and I'm so ashamed I didn't catch on to how screwed up all this is a lot sooner. My friend sent me updates on what she said with her permission. I wasn't sending screenshots or anything. Basically just, she's been crying and she told me that there's a lot you don't know. This led to a phone call with a friend acting as a mediator. So back to the story. As mentioned in the comments of the last post, a friend got in touch and told me that Kate had reached out saying that her relationship was falling apart and it was my fault. My friend Anna was told everything Kate's been through and was shocked. There's a lot more than any of us had been told. Anna was 99% sure I didn't know about this. She asked Kate if she honestly thought I'd be friends with Nate if I knew, and she agreed to talk to me. On the phone, I immediately apologized properly and she blew me off. She asked if I knew Nate was obsessed with me, and I told her we were just friends. The kiss meant nothing, yada yada. Yeah, turns out that's not what he told her. Shortly after, she asked about our past and we were open about it. He admitted to her that the only reason we weren't together is that I'd told him I hadn't felt anything. He had wanted something with me as long as I had up to that point, but where I didn't feel anything, he genuinely thought it could continue. He didn't want to lose me, so he just avoided his feelings. That's bad enough in itself, but he also admitted to that being a pattern. Of the girls he's dated, they all seem to be about 5 years younger than him. Apart from Kate and myself, none of them have been in his department or at any risk of breaking uni rules. All but one of them do attend my university. He apparently likes role playing and asks these girls to pretend to be girls he's into, specifically myself and his ex girlfriend from a couple years ago. Kate flat out refused after she met me, but went along with it a couple times before because he doesn't tell them that the girl they're pretending to be is someone that he actually knows. He got a wig and an outfit, a dress identical to the one that I wear a lot, a cheer uniform for his ex, for each of us. It makes them say certain stuff. I can't control what people fantasize about, but to go to this length and not tell your actual partner that they're playing your ex or your crush is a little serial killer-ish. Anyways, he also lied about his age. When he met, he said he just turned 26 a couple months ago. When he met Kate, he said he turned 26 a week ago, probably about a day after we made plans to do something for his 27th birthday. She looked at his provisional in passing once and noticed that he, A, uses his middle name instead of his first. Not that that's weird by itself, but it's a bit strange that he didn't tell her. When she asked about it, he just said he decided to go by his middle name in sixth form. B, lied about his birthday. His actual birthday is the date he gave me, but he's a year older, 28. When he told her, it was just random and wrong. He justified it by saying he didn't want her to feel uncomfortable, then got annoyed when she told him that she was definitely uncomfortable. The age gap is almost 2 years more than she previously thought. C had an address from a different city where she said he was from, and our uni. She asked him when he lived there, and he said that it's where his parents lived. She asked why he'd said he was from a different city, and he told her it's the city his postcode is in, the nearest city to where he grew up. But without giving too much away, he essentially told her that the reason his ID had a York address on it is that he lived in Leeds once, and Leeds is in Yorkshire. Not those cities, but similar logic. Like it made no sense. She knew about the nickname. That wasn't what any of this was really about. She'd seen it a while ago, asked, and been told it was a name I call her. He went along with it for fun or whatever. She asked him to stop, and he told her she was overreacting. It was still a shitty name, and even now, knowing my version of events, she doesn't like that joke, didn't stop when she stuck around. But she said she probably would have found it funny if I told her about it before all of this. Instead, she was convinced that Nate and I were having some weird affair and distancing ourselves from her with stupid nicknames and lying about what we did when she wasn't around. She doesn't want to see Nate again, and while she forgives me for the name thing, she doesn't really want to drop everything and be best friends. That's fair. She asked me to gather her stuff from Nate's house and meet her for a chat. She told me she won't make decisions for me, but hopes I'll reconsider my friendship after all this. To be honest, I don't feel comfortable going to his place after what I know, so Anna is gonna come along. I haven't said anything to him about what I know, and I don't plan to until we have Kate's stuff. I don't think he'll get violent or whatever, but I can see him damaging her things as some petty revenge. And since I've learned I don't know him at all, I can't guarantee he won't react badly. After Anna and I grabbed her things, we plan to contact Nate together and tell him that he needs to stay away or we'll report him to the university. I know he's been very careful about not breaking the rules and hasn't technically done anything wrong, but since befriending students and trying for romantic relationships immediately after his restrictions ends seems to be a pattern, I'm sure they'd at least watch him and it would look bad professionally. I don't think there's much to say. Like I said, I don't think Kate and I will be best friends, but if she wants to stay friends with anyone in the group, it's pretty safe to say we're all dropping Nate. Going forward, I'm going to watch what I say and assume anything said about someone without them present is going to get back to them, with or without appropriate context. I'll be better about boundaries and suspicion of anyone who isn't. I'm sorry. a wig and a dress and saying specific things. Hey, partner, can you come be this really really specific person that we both totally don't know for no reason other than it sounds fun? Yeah, that's all. What the fuck? This guy is insane, bro. That's crazy. I mean, clearly, he's clearly obsessed with you, and that's kind of a little scary when he does stuff like this. But hey, if you want to still talk to him, if you want to do whatever, it's your life, not mine. So I'm not gonna tell you how to live it. But that's gonna be all for the video. Let me know what you all think in the comments below. Let me know if you want multiple story Mondays to continue, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.